Hey, welcome back to Evil's Comics. I'm Evil Mike, and this is going to be a review for Bad Ideas Tankers 1 through 3, the complete story. It is only a 3-issue story, very quick, very simple, but nonetheless still a great story. This was Bad Ideas' second release, ENIAC being their first. It did not disappoint. I'm going to do like a real quick run through of the first 2 issues, and I'm going to kind of go more into detail in the 3rd issue. But basically, Tankers is set up on the premise of like today, and it's set up in Texas, and it's by this, I think it's green leaf oil, and you know, either present day or a little bit in the future. Basically, Greenleaf Oil tells this story about how, you know, we're running out of oil reserves. You know, we've all heard the story. We're running out of oil. What's the idea to get more oil or do something about it? And this Greenleaf, company, they come up with the idea to basically time travel back to the prehistoric ages, and they're basically going to redivert the comet that supposedly took out all the dinosaurs back then, caused the mass extinction, and basically they're going to like leave some of the dinosaurs to exist so they can keep like producing fossil fuels, so there is a bigger reservoir in the future versus like the kind of smaller or regular size reserve that we have like normally. They basically stated, like, scientists came up with like, hey, you know, because the dinosaurs died, like we lost a whole bunch of fossil fuels that could have been here. So they come up with time travel, and they come up with this plan to go back in the future, shoot like a rocket at the comet, and basically divert the comet so that it, you know, doesn't cause the extinction event. So in come Tankers, and there's a squad that is picked, and they basically have like a temporal gate that they jump through. They go through and they end up in Mexico in BC times. It's not really stated, you know, like what era, or you know, Jurassic or Thoracic, or nothing like that. Basically, you know, it's near the end of that era, especially if it was the extinction event. But they go through, and it's basically, they get here, wreak a whole bunch of havoc with, you know, I mean, they basically annihilate like every dinosaur. It didn't matter what it is, herbivore, carnivore. They just go in here and wreck house, and it's fun. You know, sorry for all the dinosaurs. I am a huge dinosaur lover. But it is just a bunch of mechs that go through, you know, these military guys that are picked, and they just, you know, they got to make it to this, you know, place, and it's not like they have an easy task ahead of them. I mean, we're talking about, you know, dinosaurs that, I mean, it's not like there's no emotions or anything like that, and they're just eating to eat. But eventually they do make it to that site. They do build and set up this rocket. And basically, you know, they do evert the asteroid, and basically make it back to that portal. Once they go through that portal, they find out like the worst of news, that somehow, you know, the scientists were wrong, and you know, letting the dinosaurs continue like breeding throughout the years caused like a different type of event. But basically they evolved to the point where they're like bulletproof and missile proof, and like, so everything that the tankers were using back there, and they kind of show you a hint at what's coming. But basically they get more dragon-like, and they kind of like, you know, evolve into the next step of dinosaurs kind of thing. But it's a more like very dangerous, and I mean, because they're resistant to like all our bullets and missiles and this and that. And that's basically the end of the first issue. The second issue is kind of like, you know, it's them coming back to, and they were supposed to be coming back to a nice, pleasant, you know, Texas, And of course, when they get here, it is not that. It is Texas, and it says, like, south of the border, but this is like a totally different changed world because of what they did. From this point out, it is like, it's just straight up survival. And they quickly find out that they are just like not only outmatched because the dinosaurs are just, that their skin is the bulletproof and blah blah blah, but then they are more massive in size, more like Godzilla or kaiju size. And they have issues with all the dinosaurs, and even the smaller dinosaurs have developed different techniques in fighting them, because we went back and messed with them in the past. They have evolved to deal with us as well. But it basically is this massive, like, and they go through and they do lose a couple members, where some have to sacrifice themselves because they're just getting annihilated in the beginning. Basically they kind of make it to this one fort where they find out a lot of the stuff that's been going on, because remember, they teleported into this, and the whole rest of the world has kind of been going through this. They do make it back to like that company, the Greenleaf company's headquarters, in the now current timeline. They find out, and they get back with the boss of Greenleaf and stuff, and he's telling them how they messed up and what they did wrong, and what they have to do now to fix it. And they're like, it's kind of like the same thing. They're basically like, okay, we kind of know what messed up, so this time what we're going to do is you have to go back in time, and the second time through you have to kill your original selves and make sure that the asteroid doesn't, make sure the asteroid does wipe out the dinosaurs, because now they know that the dinosaurs are just so much more dangerous that they leave them to evolve to, the next stage or whatever, because they start getting, they find out that a lot of dinosaurs have these like acid breath, and not only are they resistant to our weapons, but they make our technology kind of look like a joke, because like even at this headquarters thing, they have this massive wall and all these defenses set up, and they kind of show you that if dinosaurs were to evolve, they would be like on a not human level of intelligence, but they do start, you start seeing they were outsmarting the humans at that point and stuff. We do get to the very end of the book, and basically it's the tankers going back into the past to eliminate their past selves so they can kind of restart the whole situation. And that is book ones and twos so far. Then we got Tankers number 3. Tankers number 3 just launched this week, just came out. So we're back on Earth, and they're about to get ready to, hopefully jump back through and complete this mission. They are still dealing with the new armored up, superpowered dinosaurs. I mean, you can tell on the cover that they have more armor, they have more horns, more spikes, a lot more deadlier than the dinosaurs that they encountered the first time through. Of course, our weapons are not so equivalent. They do go into the point when they go back to Texas, like in the second book, that like the tankers already were developing like stronger weapons and stuff like that. So at one point they are able to fight back to a degree. They do show you, like in the very first pages of this book, that that the army is like teaming up to go support this this mission that Greenleaf is about to launch, and just the dinosaurs come, it's a whole bunch of amounts to nothing. And it's kind of funny because they're like, Delta Team, go, Alpha Team, Beta, and we keep launching all this stuff, and then it's just nothing compared to the dinosaurs. But they do go into this, the main character's name is Houston, but we do go back with Houston is meeting up with the president of Greenleaf, or whoever I don't even know if he's the president or if he's like a spokesperson. I don't remember if they go into that, but we're gonna say he's the president of the company. But basically he's going through and he's telling them, okay, now you got to go back and you got to kill yourselves, and he was like, and basically to fix all this, and it'll restart everything. he is on board, but they're kind of like, drive, you know. I mean, they're right around the corner from where all that other stuff is going on, where the army is being decimated. And even right here, we're you know, jumping into problems because one of the master, I want to say like T-Rex or something. No, it's not even a T. It looks like a mix from a Triceratops and some kind of carnivore. But it starts jumping on the truck and everything. They do show that, and it's one of the cheesier moments. It's like, and the senator right here, you know, he's saying his last words, and he says something like, "As Texas goes, so goes the world," you know. And then right after that, he get, you know, that's his like death moment. Well, basically, they show up that Houston and the doctor, the one that created the time travel, they're the only two out of this whole convoy that make it out, and they're still trying to make it to the tanker's headquarters so they can do the temporal jump. Of course, trying to get there through all the dinosaurs, they are encountering problems, and the rest of the army is kind of already being taken out. They are now on foot, and all of a sudden, one of their past friend shows up. This was a member of like the original squad from that went back into from the first book, and we thought he had died. We find out that somehow he has that he did survive, and he's kind of like one of the rookies when the story, you know, starts out. Houston is kind of like the main character of the book. There's not too many. I mean, there are like some characters where they mention their names, but it's not like a really character-driven story. It's more about the events that are going on versus the physical characters. I mean, there's no backstory on who Houston is or the president, you know, nothing like that. It's more just, these are the guys that are going through it, you know, this is why they're going through it, and, you know, kind of thing. But we do get, you know, we do make it into Greenleaf headquarters, and we find out the rest of the tanker's crew, they have been getting ready, but they are also dealing with, you know, a bunch of dinosaurs inside the compound, and they are, you know, keeping the line. Houston and the rest of them kind of quickly, you know, get suited up, get in there and get in the action. And the doctor, he starts trying to calibrate the temporal doors so they can make the jump and go back to the past. While they're going through this, like, they never stated, but he's like one of the bigger dinosaurs they have run into, more like a dragon type of T-Rex. And he starts going through them and just messing up stuff. And basically it's just this massive, you know, kind of hold the ground until he gets the gate open. Finally they get the gate open, and basically everybody alive is like, okay, through the gate, you know. And it's that bad, you know, that they're being overrun by the dinosaurs, and then the dinosaurs just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Excuse me. They do start making it through the gate, like one by one. I think the doctor and Houston are the last couple to make it out. Houston does make it out, and he's all happy that he does. And as soon as he does, that big, you know, dinosaur dragon one kind of pokes his head through and through the gate, and actually grabs the like foot of the mech that he's in. At that point, like, all the other tankers are freaking out, and they're like, no, grab, you know, and they're trying to save him from being pulled back in by the dinosaur. On the other side of the gate, there was like a couple of the, you know, regular army members that were left behind, and there was this, like, I think her name was Rebecca or something like that. But they, like, right before, they had, it was like this one line, like, hey, you want to join the tankers? And she was like, yeah. And then right after she says yeah, you know, she gets her arm eaten off, and she kind of gets left behind. But we kind of find out why, because, you know, she's over here and she's like, I'll save you guys, you know, for Texas. And she basically detonates like a massive bomb on the other side of the temporal gate. It does severely mess up the big dragon dinosaur right there. It just, I mean, you know, on this side he was bloop, and then they show his, you know, face on the other side, and it's just, he's gone. All the tankers are safe and sound at the moment. They are, you know, celebrating, phew, we made it. And then they're trying to figure out when they are, and the doctor has revealed that they are not exactly where they're supposed to be. They missed the jump, and they are like months and months and months after the original tankers have already come and gone. So they have missed their opportunity to let the asteroid blow up and everything. And the doctor kind of tells him, well, I don't, how, he was, and they get mad at the doctor, like, man, you messed up the calculation. He's like, bro, he was like, do you know how many intestinal, like, possibilities there was into this? And he was like, and I was trying to do this while we were almost being eaten and everybody was dying. He was like, I mean, you get to what you get. So basically at that point, Houston decides that the mission still stands. And from this moment on, that they have a brand new mission. The doctor is going to build them at HQ during this time. They are going to use the available assets and equipment that they have and go forth. And basically they are going to, the new mission is to eliminate every dinosaur on the planet to ensure that there is like a mass extinction level of fat and bones from the dinosaur carcasses to refill our oil supply in the future. And basically the tankers are stuck in the past, but basically that is the mission that they're going through. And they're going to kill every dinosaur. So supposedly in history, the tankers are the reason why we don't have dinosaurs today, and we actually had a nice kind of stockpile of oil. So thank you, tankers. Whew. There is a side story in each and every book, like 1, 2, and 3. There's a little side story at the end of it. This one, I mean, I just finished reading this book, so this is why I read this. I mean, I remember it, but I don't remember the other 2 side stories in the first one. I remember the first one had something to do with like a time traveling Abraham Lincoln, and none of the side stories connect. They're just like little fun stories. This one is like, it's about this pizza arcade detective, and I mean, it's kind of set up as a joke. Like he's a detective, and he's tracking down these like fake arcade coins in the 80s that are being used in different arcades, and it's just set up as like a mock, like a noir or noir style detective story or something like that. And it's kind of funny. It's just, it's a skit that could come out real funny, because it's the detective, and he's like, yeah man, he's like, I'm on the prowl, and it's raining, man, job's hard, and gotta catch the criminals, and they do. And I mean, it's this whole like where he interrogates this kid, and because she's using these fake coins, and I don't know, the little side stories. This one was really good. I mean, I think this side story will stick with me for a little while, because I was one of those 80s kids growing up in arcade bars. But I didn't mention this before, but the writer of Tankers is Robert Venditti. Artist is Juan José, and it's RYP. And then color art is Andrew Dalhouse, and the covers are done by LaRosa and Laura Martin. This is just a short sum up of this book, but if you have not had a chance to read Tankers, it was such a fun read. The art is phenomenal. I mean, the same cover art, I mean, you get fantastic covers and amazing backs. But the art inside, I mean, I showed you all a lot of the art. It is just fantastic. You're talking about, the only thing that I would have to compare this to that I've ever heard anything like this, it reminds me of Exo Squad from the late 80s, early 90s, and it was like a tie-in to Robotech, but they kind of had these, the same type of, like smaller mech, kind of, robot type devices. But that's the only thing that I can really compare it to is Exo Squad, and Exo Squad was completely different. It was space, but just the whole like tanker idea. But I mean, a really great read. I mean, every book I've read from Bad Idea has been a really good read. That's all I can say. But that is my review for Tankers, the complete story, 1, 2, 3. I got more reviews coming up for y'all. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, tell your friends out there. That's all I got for you. I'll be back in a little bit. All right. Thank y'all.